All right, let's set up some rings. So I've been battling this tricep tendinitis for a while now, and one thing that's been helping me a lot with it is I have this voodoo floss band, and I wrap it up around the elbow here. Gotten pretty good at doing this to myself now. It's kind of hard doing this to yourself at first, so if you're strapped for time, I wouldn't recommend doing this because you're going to get frustrated putting it on. But you want to make sure it's nice and tight in the affected area. And I've always been told you want to wrap it towards the heart, so not away from the heart. I'm not quite sure why that is. I think it's just pushing the blood that direction. Okay, and then once you have it wrapped down a few times and run out of space, then you just tuck it under the last little bit underneath like this, which can be a pain in the butt sometimes. No, like that. See, that's a pain in the butt. That's why I said if you're strapped for time, don't do this, because it's just going to make you frustrated. Alright, so there, it's on good enough now. So what I do is I just do some push-ups with this on, and it kind of helps to push the stagnant blood out of the area. And then when I take it off, it kind of releases, and it also, because the blood's out of the area, will also kind of let the tissues rub against each other. And just like anything rubbing against something else, it's going to kind of break up anything in there that shouldn't be in there, and kind of help break up some scar tissue. So I've had a lot of great results with this. So I warm up with this and just get some range of motion going with it, so I get that triceps some controlled inflammation and ready to move strong. Yesterday I did unilateral deadlifts and overhead press, so we'll see how I do today with all this stuff. Just taking it very, very slow at first to build up the resilience. And that's all it is really. Just, you see my hands wider than the other one because the blood's getting cut off. And then you just take it off, and that will allow new blood in, and it will feel a lot better already. You can do this a lot of different ways. So yeah, look up voodoo floss bands, and there's a lot of great stuff with that. So what I'm going to focus on today in my ring training is my false grip pull-up into the bottom of the dip position. Because of my issues with my tricep and my lats and things like that, I've had a hard time getting out of the dip position or anything dip related. So I've been mostly doing push-up based stuff until my body gets strong again to that. So unfortunately I'm not in what I consider to be on the health and wellness scale. Right now I'm still kind of in recovery mode for my upper body, and I can't train it like as hard as I could normally and just go straight in the muscle up. So I'm training the different parts of the muscle up, getting those stronger, and hopefully it'll all pay off and I'll be able to do really good ones, because right now I can only do a single muscle up before I'm gassed because of all the things going on with my body. So anyway, let's do some pull up to the pull up to the deep dip position. Let's do some pull up to the deep dip position in false grip. I also carry around liquid chalk when I'm inside the gym net. When inside of if I'm inside of a facility that doesn't like me to have chalk, I just use liquid chalk, and that usually keeps them at bay. So I think I put the rings too close together. I'm going to climb up in this tree and try to fix them a little bit. That looks a little bit better. Let's try it out like that. There we go. So if you don't have a TheraBand or some kind of resistance band, I recommend you get one. They have tons of different types of resistance types, like how many pounds the resistance is, and it varies like between a scale of 10 pounds to something like that. But I use them as a lot of my warm-up stuff because I can like stretch at the same time while loading up the muscles, versus like if I was to use a rope or a stick, which I still use those. But I find that with the bands, they're pulling on me the whole time. They don't ever give up on pulling. So that kind of helps me with my stretching as I'm going through the motions here. And you can do a wide variety of things. Like right now I'm trying to get my chest to kind of be active and stretched out at the same time. So this is really good to kind of help out with that. So yeah, get a TheraBand. You can do so many things with them, for mobility, flexibility, strengthening the smaller muscles. I'll probably just do about maybe 5 or 6 of these. Again, I'm just trying to reacclimate my body to this type of movement. One thing I noticed a while back is that when I was kind of at my peak, well, yes, I was younger, but that doesn't matter to me so much. What matters is the variety of stuff I was doing. And I know there has to be a little bit of focusing in order for you to gain any one kind of skill or get better at something. But if you don't keep the variety in your life, that's when your body starts to kind of go through what sometimes feels like irreparable changes, and you can't go back to things you used to do. So for someone, you know, even though I've gained a little bit of weight too, and that's because I started doing lifting and bodybuilding, so I'm heavier now, about 30 pounds heavier. So that also makes an effect on it too. But if I had kept up this stuff while I was doing it, like at least a little bit, like 30% of what I did, then I would have already been able to come back to this already. So just keep that in mind. Variety is important in so many aspects of life. My skin's got to get tougher too. It's so much harder on my skin than it used to be. By the way, I think this tree is cool. I did a 30-minute climb in it about a little over a week ago. You want to know about cardio? Climbing trees. That's good cardio. Do 20 to 30 minutes of climbing trees straight. Just straight movement. It's hard work, man. One thing I found to do in December, when I first acquired this knee injury that I'm going to get work done to, was that in between like strength sets, one thing that's really awesome to do is juggling. It takes your mind off of what you just did, so it can kind of help you with relaxing for the next set. It helps with some recovery blood flow too. It's such a light, repetitive motion, and it's always challenging no matter how good you get at it. You can always add on something else to it to make it more interesting. So doing a little bit of juggling in between sets, I think, is always a cool thing. I can even put the timer on for, oh no! I can put the timer on for about 4 to 5 minutes, 3 minutes of juggling straight. And that's a great, like I said, recovery kind of in between, keeping blood flow going, keeping it interesting, and of course, it's always challenging. Anyway, let's do one more of these. Just so you know, one of the hardest parts of the muscle up is the transfer from the pull up into the dip. Because I know people that can do plenty of dips, I know people that can do plenty of pull-ups, even in false grip position, but it's the transfer. So when you get to here, all right, this position is pretty, this forearm is vertical, here forearm is vertical. Those are like, you know, the dip and pulling positions. But there's a huge gradient in between there where you have to get this elbow all the way up to there, and that's where the hardest part is, because you're in the most compromised position mechanically for your body to work. And that's where I'm feeling this really the hardest part is myself, is that tricep stress that I'm getting through doing it. So those of you having trouble with your muscle up are going to have to devote some time to that transition inside there, no matter how many dips or pull-ups you do. You also might wonder why I have the rings offset. Since I'm on a branch, the branch is angled like this, so I have to, the one that's higher will actually bend down when I go on it. So if I have them equal, they actually will make it harder for me. So I have to kind of have them offset like this so that when I go into it, it becomes, well, even. Anyway, I'm gonna go focus on my dips now. So I'm actually gonna do, I'll try to go up, but probably if this doesn't work, I'll probably end up doing negatives just because of the fact that, well, I need a lot of work done. So here we go. I'm actually quite happy with that, and man, I feel that left side working a lot makes me very, very happy. I feel like the pectoral really engaging there. That's exciting to me just because usually my right side's been taking over a lot, so to have that left side come in and really start to work, that makes me happy. That's all I gotta say. So it just shows some things are changing in my body. It's good. Of course. Remember how I said you can make it interesting? What if instead of a pine cone I use one shoe instead, huh? Go there. Makes it a little bit different, but it's more fun this way, right? You can also do one arm juggling. So we just throw something up to one arm, which is also just really good for reaction time as well. And it's just fun. I had some bicep tendinitis at the beginning of December, and because of this rapid contraction of the bicep like this, we're doing juggling, it actually helped to rehab my bicep all the way up through here, because this is where it was. I was doing like bodybuilding, bicep curls, things like that, and then after that I went to go train b-boying, which was not a smart idea. I should have given myself a lot more time between that and the training for that, which now if I'm going to train like skill work, I'll usually do that like hours later versus like right after. They always tell you to wait, right? This is why they tell you to wait. Unless you lengthen everything back out again, with some special types of methods of training, you really can't go from one thing to the other like that, with that kind of focused work, especially when you kind of shorten the muscle range through tightening it and contraction, and then you're asking it to express this wide range of motion right afterward. It's just asking for trouble. So I found this to work out quite well in this little tiny like game I play. And the one thing that's hard about these pine cones is they're so light. So I like it when things are a little bit heavier. It actually makes it a little bit easier because you can feel the weight. But if it was like a bean bag and this heavy, then it would be fine. But oh no. Anyway, yeah. So juggling helps to recover biceps. Study done by one person, and everybody should do it, right? All right, let's do some more dips. I'll face the other way. Still going strong. Another great thing about this voodoo floss band is it also doubles as a resistance band. In fact, I don't know if I can recover any footage of this stuff, but a while back I had some really bad Achilles tendinitis from doing a cat leap to a wall when I was really fatigued, and it was a safety cat. I was demonstrating a safety cat, and it's just, I mean, I almost probably ruptured my Achilles in the process. I mean, there was a lot of scarring in both of them. so I couldn't do any high impact like jumping stuff for a while. But anyway, you don't have to have a voodoo floss band to voodoo floss. You can do it with a resistance band, exactly the same way. In fact, before I bought one of these, I would just wrap up my whole foot and ankle up here, wrap it to the Achilles, and I would just go through calf raises and stuff like that. And I'll see if I can find some of that footage and put it up for you. It was really beneficial, in my opinion, for that recovery. And then, of course, some of it had to do with just taking my time with warm-ups. But yeah, just so you know, you don't need to have a voodoo floss band. These can be expensive for some people. So if you all you have is this, use this. You don't have to have the name brand, even though I do like this one a little bit better than this one. Didn't quite finish that last one there. And you probably also notice I'm turning my rings out at the top. That's really important, especially for your shoulders. Your shoulders, it gets quite, in this position here, with the hand turned in, this is total turn in like this. All right, this actually locks your shoulder in place, and it can be effective for a lot of things you want to do. So it's a very strong position. This is not a very strong position. It's very unstable, but by doing this, by learning this external rotation, you're actually freeing up your joint, because when you come to here, you're actually impinging your joint, causing that everything to come in there. That's why it's so strong in there if you do that position, because, well, everything locks up into place. But if you express this open position at the top of your dips, okay, or in a lot of other things, that's why they talk about that so much. You should be training both inward and outward, expressing both of those. If you don't have enough inward, like here, like this, if this doesn't come all the way back, which I have an issue with myself, that can have problems with, especially if you're in martial arts or MMA or anything, from being caught. And if it doesn't go out, same exact thing. So it doesn't have application only to MMA, but to all those movements. You know, you want to be able to express as much motion as possible with strength as well, right? So make sure at the top of that dip, you're really turning those arms up. I think that's enough of those. I'm just gonna do front supports now and focus on that. Before even attempting dips on rings, you probably should have a good front support. All right, one more front support. Pulling back, expressing that open chest, and really engaging in those lats. Actually, I'll bring it back up. I want to do some skin to cats. I'm enough room here to go from full extension, but still it's going to be good. So from here, that stretch, turn out. It's a nice cool day today, but it's a nice cool day today, but you don't have that water with you out here in Arizona, you are just screwed. Oh, by the way, if any of you know anything I can do to help, I have this issue with my supinator on my left side, where like if I'm carrying groceries or anything with my arms turned out for too long, that it gets really like sore very, very quickly. And I turn my arm out like this, it goes away really fast and I can massage it out, but I'm just curious if you know anything about what that's going on with that. It's probably active release, or maybe my friend Daniel Thies can fix that for me. Coming for you, Daniel. Sorry, I called you Daniel, didn't I? Coming for you, Nathaniel. We're going to do an interview with him too about MAT, so maybe we can discuss that at that point. Oh. There was a point when I was working up to iron cross on the rings a while back, and I got, in my opinion, I think I did actually get a decent iron cross. I guess so, but I'll let you decide. I'll put the link in the link up there on the side, and that was like right before I started having major shoulder issues back in let's see, it was right before I started working at Scottsdale Parkour and free running again, and right, it was when because I was building the outdoor park, and I ended up having an injury, and I was training with my friends late at night because I was stupid and didn't warm up properly, and went straight for a lache on a janky tree, and pulled my shoulder pretty good right there, and my muscles turned off in that area. That was my first introduction to chiropractic and the benefits of that, especially for high impact athletes. And that guy wasn't just a chiropractor either, he was like a voodoo doctor. He gave me all kinds of stuff to do with like his Buckburger exercises, and also these he had these things, he was the first person to introduce me to some MAT work, and also this stuff called a call to move, which is like a combination of structural integration and stuff like that. Let me ask, let's ask the internet what they want. Should I do flies or L-sits? Okay, ring flies it is. Thank you, Randy, William, Eugene, Christopherson, Musak. And thank you, Dylan Titano. Ring flies it is. Again, I'm trying to get that external rotation here. And then from there, opening up. And back together again. Really pulling down in that lat so I don't hurt the shoulder. Whew. Way harder after doing front support work. That's all I got. I don't want to hurt myself by accident. Alright, let's get one more stretch here. Do this one for my knees. Get nice and opened up here. Talk to you guys a little bit, because as if you didn't get to talk to me enough today. There it is, right there. So, if you like the way this style of video is going, please let me know. like it, share it, ask a lot of questions. I'll always answer them back. Always.